Verstappen held off a late charge from Lewis Hamilton to take a big win in the USGP and increase his World Championship lead to 12 points with 5 races to go, in yet another captivating duel between the title contenders that went all the way to races 56 and final lap. Verstappen withstood the pressure of a charging Mercedes on fresher tyres to claim his first win in the US after a significant time in the season. Catching is one thing, passing is another. Verstappen kept his head. That was a very important victory in his career and championship charge, said Martin Brundle after the Dutchman's 8th win of the season. Hamilton had brilliantly overtaken his pole-sitting rival in the race's first corner, but Red Bull gained track position by pitting Verstappen first at the opening stops and then again second when he was in the lead. Mercedes kept Hamilton out longer to ensure significantly fresher tyres on the closing laps, and he rejoined from his second stop 8 seconds behind Verstappen. He quickly reeled him in, but crucially Verstappen could just about stay out of the DRS range and keep his tyres in check to ensure Hamilton never got past. Big for us to beat Mercedes. I really didn't think we were going to pull it off, said Christian Horner, which also saw Sergio Perez finish third in his sister car to ensure they cut the reigning champions lead in the Constructors' Championship to 23 points, and Verstappen leads the drivers by 12. A philosophical Hamilton said, we gave it everything we had and they were just quicker than us, quite simply. Charles Leclerc drove a fabulous race to take home 4th for Ferrari, finishing closer to Perez's Red Bull, 10 seconds off, then 5th place Daniel Ricciardo, who was 24 seconds off from the Constructors' Championship rivals McLaren. With Carlos Sainz 7th, Ferrari moved within 3.5 points of McLaren in a fight between the sport's former titans for 3rd in the team standings, but 5th was still a strong personal result for Ricciardo, 3 places and 8 seconds above teammate Norris after overtaking the Spaniard on the first lap. The Spaniard came back at him later on, but a wheel-bang crash between the pairs did not change the order. Valtteri Bottas, he started 9th after an engine penalty, overtook Sainz on the final lap for 6th after a tricky race in the second Mercedes. With almost a quarter of this gripping 22 race campaign still to come over the next 7 weeks, it would be dangerous to read too much into the significance of Verstappen's Austin success, but undoubtedly it still acts as a timely fillip for Red Bull just when their title challenge seems to be losing momentum. Having ended Mercedes' 100% pole record at COTA in the turbo hybrid era, on Saturday, Verstappen claimed Red Bull's first win at a Texan venue since their last title triumph in 2013. Finishing on the top step of the podium had seemed in doubt at several stages of the race, no more so than right at the start when Hamilton sneaked into the lead down in the inside into turn 1, despite Verstappen's attempt to close the door. And then during the first stint he was really close, but just couldn't get past him. But 10 laps, Red Bull went very aggressive, acknowledged Verstappen, with Mercedes immediately deciding to run longer with Hamilton to give them the tyre of edge later in the race. Red Bull restricts their rivals' options by soon putting in Perez too, as also advised by Verstappen from the cockpits of the sister car. Hamilton ran 3 laps longer, and Verstappen's tyre advantage in the preceding laps meant that Red Bull regained the race lead. As the second stint progressed, Hamilton closed in on the race leader before Red Bull opted to pit first again on lap 30, 26 laps from home. That time, Mercedes left Hamilton 8 laps longer, setting up his late charge that took into the customer DRS range, but no race-winning overtake. I think it was some interesting strategy, gains and great racing, said Mercedes boss Toto Wolff. At the end, we thought we had a sniff, but it wasn't enough. The moment you get close, the other car is difficult. They weren't super aggressive in the first stop, that was bold. We did that in Bahrain. Then they covered in the second stint, and we thought that was enough to get them, but they deserve the win today. Hamilton concluded, I thought for a second we might have been able to get the win, but we had to wait until the next one. If Austin had been considered a Mercedes stronghold, then the next one is certainly a happy hunting ground for Red Bull. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez is high altitude. Verstappen will inevitably start as a favourite there on November the 5th and 7th, but it's amazing that yet unresolved 2021 title fight has told us anything is that predictions have become a mug's game. Before I go, let me run you through the final classification. Max Verstappen picking up the win. What a great result for him. Just a brilliant drive from the top two. And Red Bull, I'm not sure if they had the best strategy, but they certainly had the best car. But just brilliant racing from the two of them. Perez all the way back. Kind of expected Perez to be a bit closer with Leclerc only 10 seconds behind, but he did what he needed to do really, or maybe he should have got the fast lap, but it is what it is. Ricciardo in 5th, obviously was miles off Leclerc, but still ahead of Norris comfortably. That's a good result for him. Then you got Bottas in 6th. To be honest, I kind of expected a bit more from him. It did seem like he struggled a bit today, but getting above Sainz, that's a good result for him. Sainz and Norris, I think they'll be frustrated to be behind Bottas. They just didn't quite have the same pace as their teammates. Tsunoda and Vettel, great to see them back in the points, and then Giovinazzi, Stroll, Raikkonen just about missing out, and then you've got Russell, Latifi, Schumacher and Mazepin just didn't really have the pace this weekend. Alonso and Ocon, not a great weekend for Alpine, but they're lucky Gasly couldn't take advantage as well in that close scrap between Alpine and AlphaTauri, which looks like it's going all the way. But yeah, Gasly, you kind of just knew it was going to be a bad day for him as soon as you saw that engine issue on the grid, to be honest. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Remember your thoughts, comments down below. Funny answers to the link description for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. Greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.